Hello everyone, welcome. It's the Fly Foot Doctor. Today we're going to be talking about something that's a little sombering, but it does have a good ending after all. So as we all know, coronavirus is out there right now. COVID-19, as some people will call it, has been going around, and I took all the precautions that I knew to take, which included making sure that I wore my mask, making sure that I was 6 feet away from people who I didn't know if they were quarantining or anything of that nature. So initially, when I started feeling symptoms, looking back now, the first symptom that I had was a very bad headache. And I honestly just thought I was really hungry. I wasn't sure. I didn't think that I had a virus or anything. I had a really bad headache, just searing headache. And I'm not one to have headaches. I don't normally have headaches, just normally. But this day, I just had a really bad headache, so I thought I was hungry, and I ate, and I did feel a little better. I think I even took some ibuprofen, and I felt okay, so I went about my business. The next day, again, this headache, I woke up with a headache. I remember this because my husband woke me up, and I was like, oh my gosh, my head is pounding. And he was like, aren't you going to work? And I'm like, work? I thought today was Saturday, but it turns out it wasn't Saturday. And I just had this, it was just, oh gosh, just awful, god awful headache. So I wake up, go about my normal routine, drink a lot of water, take some pain medicine. Again, I don't remember if it was Tylenol or ibuprofen, but one of it I took the medications for. So I trucked through the day. I was okay, but by the afternoon, I was just exhausted, and I felt like my head was spinning. I was really tired, and I just wanted to sleep. And then my body hurt. My body kind of hurt, like my shoulders hurt, my elbows hurt, my knees hurt. We're even joking that it's like head, shoulders, knees, and toes. Like it hurt. Like it was just achy, and I was just tired, exhausted overall. It was something crazy. It was just, oh my gosh. So I just wanted to get done with my day and go to bed. I thought, man, I have caught something crazy. And keep in mind, because I checked my fever, my temperature. I didn't have a fever. I wasn't coughing. I didn't have a runny nose or anything. All I felt was just exhaustion, dizziness, and body pain. So I said, okay, well, I don't think this is, the virus, because typically you'd have at least a fever and a cough and things like that, but I don't think it is. So I didn't think much of it. But as soon as I got home, I just, went home and slept and just stayed away from, everything. I just went straight to bed, and I slept like 4 hours straight, which was very unusual. I slept 4 hours straight, woke up, ate, and then went right back to bed again. And so, thankfully, at my job, you are required every month to test for COVID, and I had already tested negative before, so that was kind of part of the reason why I didn't think that was it, because I had already tested negative before. And so I'm actually going to insert a clip. If you watch my last video on here somewhere, I talk about how I get tested for it. I had already recorded a clip of me opening my result and being negative, so check it out. All right, guys, so I have finally gotten the result. I haven't looked at it yet. I am pretty nervous. So yeah, let's see what this result shows, okay? I wanted to make sure that I opened this on camera so that, I'll get my reaction firsthand. Oh gosh, all right. I think I'm negative. I mean, I'm pretty sure I'm negative. So I'm just going to call it as it is. I am COVID negative. All right, so it is negative. Thank you, jeez. All right, that is a little nerve-wracking. All right, well, yes, it's negative. Thank goodness. Oh my gosh. So yeah, that God has a sense of humor. So yeah, I had already tested negative, and so I was so excited. I had already recorded that, and then I felt this symptoms coming on, and so that's why I didn't think that it was COVID, because I'm like, well, I just tested negative. There's no way I caught it in like 2 days or something. Anyways, so I still go to rest. Thankfully, it was already time for me to test again anyway, because I was kind of late on testing the first time for that month. So I ended up testing again anyway. And that, I just waited. I didn't have the rapid test. It's the one that takes like 3 to 7 days. And usually when it says 3 to 7 days, it's usually the 7 part of it. So yeah, I just kind of waited. So, my symptoms kind of like lasted for maybe 3 days. And again, it was body pain. So the first day was a headache. The next day was just, again, a headache. Now I had body pain. Now I had dizziness. Never had a fever. Never had like coughing or any kind of nasal issue or anything like that. Just that lethargy, just that tiredness, that, exhaustion, malaise, and tired, just body pain. And so after that night, when I slept 4 hours, woke up 8, went back to sleep, the next day I felt a little better. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm getting over this, thank God, whatever it is. I felt a little better. I still had a headache that kind of lingered on, but my body didn't hurt it didn't hurt as much. It was still there, because I remember kind of sitting Indian style and saying, oh, my knees are kind of hurting. I'm not an old lady yet, but I was like, my knees kind of hurt a little bit, and I just kind of feel like my joints still hurt, but it was much, much better. And by the third day, I woke up that morning. I think I took 3 ibuprofens. Disclaimer, anything that I say is what I did to feel better. I'm not telling you to do this. If you do it at your own peril. So yeah, I think I took like 3 ibuprofens, and I just went, and I actually went about my business. That day I didn't feel pain. I didn't feel anything. I didn't feel anything much as far as pain. I just felt tired. I just felt a little tired. Like I was like, I feel like I just needed rest. I feel like I just need to rest a little bit, but I'm okay in general. I'm feeling much better. So all in all, my symptoms only lasted 3 days. Now here's the kicker. So a family member called me and was telling me, the symptoms that they had and things like that. And I was like, oh, that sounds, kind of, similar to what I had, So I encouraged the family member, hey, you should get tested. I had already gotten tested at that time, so I was just waiting for my result. So, I encouraged the family member, hey, you should get tested, just to check and see what's going on. And so the family member called me later, and we're just talking, and they go, hey, I just realized I can't smell. So I'm thinking, wait, what? What do you mean you can't smell? It's like, well, I used the restroom. If you're watching this, I'm sorry. I'm trying to keep you as anonymous as possible. So, the family member says, I used the restroom and I couldn't smell anything. So and this again, remember, my symptoms are already gone at this point. No shortness of breath, no fever, no cough, nothing. My body pain is better. Tiredness is much, much improved. Maybe I had like 10% left and maybe like 10% of a lingering headache. But other than that, I'm doing great. So I'm like, wait, you can't smell? I can smell, so I'm not sure what's going on with you. So, we just kind of talked about it. And I was like, okay, I'll check and see if the same is happening to me. So I go, after we hang up, I go and spray some perfume on my hand, and I realize it's not smelling as strong as I remember it to smell. So again, this is not while I had symptoms. This is afterwards. So, which I thought was really interesting. So, I'm like, oh, well, my sense of smell, it's not smelling as strong. So, I don't know. I didn't really think much of it. Then the next day, I go to spray the perfume again. And now I really can't smell it except I'm like, I remember I sprayed it right here on my arm. Before I sprayed it here, and I would have to go like this close to smell it. Now I had to like literally put my nose to my arm before I could smell it. So I'm like, I'm losing my sense of smell. Would you know that by the third day, I probably had to spray it in my nostrils. I couldn't smell a thing. I could not smell a thing. And I think that was when I couldn't taste either. I started to realize that, everything tasted bland. And I'm like, oh, so that was when I kind of freaked out. And I said, oh my gosh, I think this is what this is, or this is what this was. It's the virus, because that was the underlying thing that people talk about. Now, it's a respiratory virus, and we know when we catch a common cold, when we catch the flu, you have nasal congestion and things like that. Sometimes you lose your sense of smell and taste for a few days. But this is a new virus. This is coronavirus. We don't know what's going on. And I went online, of course, and people were saying it was weeks and they still hadn't gotten their sense of smell back. I freaked out, and I was just like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? Like, help me, Lord, help me. So, I looked up some stuff, which I am going to be sharing with you, and I'm going to put a link to the video up here. So check that video out. That video is actually olfactory training, and it's a video to try to help you get your sense of smell back and try to help you train your olfactory nerves, just the nerves that help you smell, help you train them to work back. So make sure you check that video out so you can just do this at home if that's the case with you. Anyways, so after a lot of prayer and a lot of just hoping that I didn't have to live without being able to taste, because I love to cook, I love to eat good food, and imagine if I couldn't taste. I mean, the smell was one thing. I was worried, like, if something was burning, if a gas stove was left open, on, I wouldn't smell it. Or, if one of my kids wet the bed or something, I wouldn't smell, like, what? But I was just really freaked out about my sense of taste. I could not taste anything. Everything was bland. My husband bought this really delicious fried rice, and because, I wasn't cooking and I couldn't taste it. So I was really, luckily for me, the loss of taste and the loss of smell only lasted 1 week. Thankfully, it only lasted 1 week, and before I knew it, it started to come back little by little. But I know that there are people out there who it lasts weeks and weeks, and maybe even months. So definitely check the video out. It may help you to try to regain your sense of smell. I started doing it as well because I was freaking out. I was like, okay, I know that the sooner you do this, the better. So I started doing it as soon as possible. So if you have loss of smell and loss of taste, make sure you try to do this, because you never know. It may really help you. Another thing that I did while I was kind of feeling not really when I was feeling symptomatic, just in general, because we were trying to prevent this COVID, and I think that really may have helped to reduce the severity at which the virus or the symptoms were, because we're hearing about young people who are being in the hospital on the ventilator or on what we call ECMO, which is you have machines that are just dialyzing you, performing the functions of your lungs, your kidneys, and everything else. Like, you're literally just on mechanical life support for for most of your organs. I think that doing what I'm about to say was really what helped me, I believe, to have a mild symptom and not really, something really severe, because God knows, we are so lucky. We are so blessed. I'm so grateful that, I'm having this conversation right now, and it's not something worse than it was. So what I did was this drink that I have termed Coromycin as a joke, but this is really what I did. So I took garlic, and if you've seen my other videos, and if you haven't, take a look. I'll put the card up here about how to boost your immune system. So all the stuff that I talk about, I did. And so what I did was I took garlic, I took ginger, I took fresh turmeric. If you have powdered turmeric, that's fine. And I peeled them all. I only used like maybe 1 or 2 garlic cloves. I used a lot more ginger and a lot more turmeric, and I combined those three. And I had a pineapple. I took a pineapple and I washed it with soap and water and sponge, the back of the pineapple, took the crown off, washed the pineapple, and then I peeled the back of the pineapple. The reason is the back of the pineapple has something called bromelain in it. Bromelain is a very potent anti-inflammatory, natural anti-inflammatory source that really helps with inflammation, arthritis, things like that, pain, just generalized inflammation. So I put the bark of a pineapple. And then I also had green tea. So I brought a pot in there. In that pot, I put like 4 or 5 or 6 bags, I don't remember, of green tea. I put the bags in there. I put water in there, and then I put the garlic that I had already. And so then I put the garlic, ginger, turmeric. Now the garlic, ginger, and turmeric, I had blended it as well in a little bit of water. So I blended everything because I was talking to a family member, not the same one, another one of mine, and they said initially I was just steeping it in hot water, and they're like, no, we need you to eat these things. If you're Nigerian, you know what I'm talking about. We need you to eat it. So they're like, you need to go blend it. And I called my mom, and my mom's like, what are you doing, AG? I need you to blend it. You need to blend it. Blend it and drink it every day. So I was like, okay. So I ended up blending it. So I blended the garlic, ginger, turmeric. I blended all 3, and then I put it in the water with the green tea. And I just kind of let it boil up. Not boil, but just kind of like a light boil, and I turned it down a little bit. And then I put the pineapple bark in there as well. So that's what you see here. Everything's just kind of boiling, and like I said, just be careful. Turmeric stains. It stains. All right, so when I kind of steeped it a little bit, I brought it to a boil, and once it came to a boil, I turned the heat down a little bit to just kind of simmer a little bit, because I didn't want to kill all the important things that were in there. So after that was done, I strained everything out, and so now I have this liquid. Now that liquid did not taste great. It didn't. It did not taste great. So I knew that I had to drink it, and I wanted to give it to my entire family. I have to put a little caveat in there. Now, when you're taking turmeric, you need to take it with black pepper. Black pepper is what's going to help it absorb in the body. If not, it's not really going to absorb much. So just keep that in mind. If you're taking turmeric, you need black pepper in there. So when I strained everything out, I then took the pineapple flesh, because I peeled my pineapple. So I took my pineapple flesh. I took lemon, the flesh of a lemon. Oh, I forgot. I also put in the water that I steeped, I put the flesh of a lemon as well. So, the skin of the lemon. So now I put the flesh, the meaty part of the lemon, I put that in there. I put the meaty part of the pineapple in there, and I also had mangoes at home. So I was like, okay, I need to make this thing edible for my family. So I put the meat, again, the flesh of the mangoes. I peeled the outer skin off, and I put the flesh of the mango. So it was mango, lemon, and pineapple. And then I blended it all together to make what you see here now. And then I refrigerated it. So I divided it into parts. Some of it was in the fridge, the rest were in the freezer. And I made sure that everyone drank it. Kids didn't like it so much, but hey, I gave them about a spoon or so, but I've been giving them other supplements anyway to kind of help to keep it away. So I do think that this really was what helped to keep the severity of the disease down and to give me a quick turnaround. Like seriously, in like 3 days, I got better, such that when I tested, it took 6 days for me to get my original result. And so I was kind of like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. So, of course, once I kind of figured that that's what I may have, we went and, we quarantined and stuff like that. Because I was eager to know, I went and did the rapid test. The rapid test, you get your results within 15 to 45 minutes. And I'll insert a clip here from when I was doing that test and stuff like that. I am here to take a test again. For the 3rd time. I'm just like over it. Clearly, as you can see in my face, like no makeup on. So now I'm going to have to wait about 30 to 45 minutes for them to call me and let me know what the result of the test is. All right, I've been called back in. I'm nervous.
Yeah, she's like, I just know I got the fight.
Wait, are you serious?
Yeah, negative. Yeah, it's negative.
Negative?
I'm gonna give you a copy of it.
Are you? How? Oh my god, dude! I am so excited. Like, I was so sure that I had this, and my result came out negative. So as you can see, when I did that rapid test, it came out negative. Imagine my confusion. Like, wait, so do I have it? Do I not have it? And keep in mind, at this time, the long one, the one I took initially, the result of that has still not come out yet. But then I got this test, it was negative. I'm like, so what were those symptoms? I'm so confused. Like, I was so confused. Like, what is going on? I was like, you know what? At least I'm negative. But for me to go back to work, even though I'm asymptomatic, you have, per CDC guidelines, you have to have 2 negative tests. So I was like, all right, I'm just gonna wait and see, and then I'll decide. And then the next day, the one that I did way before it came out, that was positive. I was just like, what is this? What's going on? I mean, thankfully, we're already kind of like sequestered and quarantined and away from people, but still, like, am I positive? Am I negative? Like, what the heck? Anyways, so I went and did my second test again, because you need to have 2 negative tests before you can go back to work. And then I did the second test, and the second rapid test, and that was negative again. All right, so now I have 2 negatives and 1 old positive, because that positive one was from like a week before. But then I have like a current back to back that were negative. Anyways, all in all, by the time you watch this video, we would be done with quarantining, myself and my staff and everyone. Everyone was, just at home, or at least away, just to kind of sit at home and make sure that everyone got better. No one around me at work really got sick, thankfully, or anything like that. Everyone's okay, because we've been really trying to practice, social distancing at work, and wearing our masks and washing our hands and sanitizing like crazy. I got bad dermatitis from it too. So all in all, I mean, I'm just thankful that this was a mild symptom. But like I said, I believe that, it was possibly so because I had been like on it before, taking all these anti-inflammatory natural foods and things like that, eating apples. I would eat like 2 to 3 oranges a day. I just put it in the fridge, get a nice juicy one, cut it up, and I would just pretend I'm drinking oranges. Like, I was on it. Vitamin C, vitamin D, elderberry juice or elderberry syrup, I was taking it and giving it to my entire family. So I believe that really was what made me not feel as bad and help my immune system to fight it. So, I mean, definitely check out that video right up there about how to boost your immune system. I'm not sure if this will come before or after. There's going to be another video about how to fight inflammation with natural food. So definitely check it out and definitely incorporate it into your daily diet. All right, thank you guys for sticking with me. It's the Fly for Doctor. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing to our channel. Also, like this video if, again, you did enjoy it, and share it to other people. It may be definitely beneficial to them. Thank you for sticking with me. Appreciate it.